Hi, I'm Sue Lee. I'm here in the New York Times Cooking Studio kitchen. I'm going to show you how to make lemony shrimp and bean stew. I've been shopping for groceries. I've seen people use the app and shop for that exact recipe. And I'm like, oh, interesting. They're like doing the check marks on the app and I'm like, oh, fun. And it's very flattering when you see that out in the real world. I've looked back on this recipe a few times wondering why people love to cook it so much. Shrimp is something that people like to eat and it's quick to cook. The lemon zest is a great addition to the shrimp and makes it taste really fresh. Hot paprika is also really fun. It's like slightly spicy but not too spicy, so it can really be made for all palates. Shrimp, butter, beans, chicken broth, like you can't really go wrong, right? Let's go cook lemony shrimp and bean stew. We're gonna slice some leeks for the recipe. It calls for 2 large leeks. I think that these 2 leeks are very large. I would call these extra large. If you see this, then maybe just use 1 of these extra large leeks. I trim off like most of the dark bits. Unless I'm making a stock, you can save this and make a stock with it. I peel out the outer layer and there's some dirt in the leek, so we're just gonna slice this leek, cut it in half lengthwise. Slice the leeks into thin pieces. In the recipe, I said that you can sub with a regular onion. This was many years ago. Now I would prefer that you just use a leek because leeks have a milder flavor, they're a little drier, and it would just let the shrimp and the marinade on the shrimp shine. Whereas an onion is a bit wet and a little sweeter, and I think that it would sort of mask the flavors of the shrimp. This is like a nice amount of leeks. Now I'm just gonna transfer it into the bowl. Ready to wash. Wait, hold on. You get this? Get your hand in there, swish, swish. I think you should wash it. You should triple wash. Second time. Okay, swish. It looks pretty clean. 2 times is enough. I think we have enough footage. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So this is a very cool salad spinner. Okay, now you have leeks that are prepped, washed, prepped, and dried for the cooking. Younggun, come. Hi, this is Younggun. So this recipe calls for you buying a pound of peeled and deveined shrimp. But Younggun, because she is Younggun, bought the most beautiful head-on shrimp. You pick one up and you do this. All 3 cameras. 1, 2, 3. You can also buy like a pound of large peeled and deveined shrimp. And when I say large, I mean like 16-20. This is 20. So let's marinate the shrimp. In it, you're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and zest of 1 lemon, and 1 teaspoon of hot and smoked paprika. It adds like a little extra flavor to the shrimp. And then we're gonna grate 2 cloves of garlic. You can also substitute with sweet paprika if you think hot smoked paprika is too spicy. I'm just gonna use my hands. I smell smokiness, lemon, garlic, really fresh shrimp. Delightful. So now let's melt some butter and cook the leeks in the shrimp. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, or if you want to use salted, fine, over medium-high heat. Nice and foamy. Foamy is good. Now let's add the shrimp. Scrape it all in there. Shrimp cooks super fast, right, quickly, so you can toss it around so that it doesn't overcook. But you start to see that the shrimp is cooking when it was like, you know, it's kind of straight, but now it's sort of a C. I also know that I'm going to add the shrimp back into the pot and cook it with the stew, so I may undercook it here a little bit. I made this recipe in 2019. Oh my God, 2019. So you see it's pink, but there's still some gray. I think it's actually ready for you to remove because we're gonna keep cooking the shrimp later. Just with a slotted spoon, remove the shrimp and put it onto a plate and set it aside while you're cooking the leeks. So to the same pan with all this stuff, I'm gonna add the leeks that I just washed. I'm going to season it with a little salt and toss it so it's coated in the butter. Pepper. We're gonna let the leeks break down and get a little soft. We're gonna add beans and 2 cups of chicken broth. You can also use vegetable broth if you don't want to eat chicken, or you can use water. It's fine. It just will not be as flavorful, but you can totally just use water. And we're gonna bring this to a boil and let it cook a little bit. The beans and the leeks have been simmering in the chicken broth for about 8 to 10 minutes, so the flavors get really like nice and rich, I guess. With the shrimp and all the juices, add the shrimp back in. And give it a stir. Because I sort of undercooked the shrimp a little earlier, I'm just gonna let it sit in here a little longer and let it cook. Not long, just gonna give it a quick toss and I'm gonna season it with a little bit more salt. I'm gonna turn it off, add some lemon juice, finely chopped parsley. It gives it a little bit of freshness. And we're done. So I'm gonna clean up so we can plate this stew. So confession, I haven't eaten this since 2019. I'm gonna eat it now with you on camera. It's very good. I see why it has 22,000 5-star reviews. The shrimp it's so fancy. It's classy shrimp, it's really good. The leeks are tender, the beans absorb great flavor. The broth is like bright with lemon juice. The shrimp has a nice smoky hint of hot smoked paprika. You can dip butter toast into the stew, and we're done. You can make this on a weeknight in under 30 minutes with shrimp. You can also make this for a date night using scallops or like another special fancy meal night with seared red snapper. You can also use this recipe as a sauce for spaghetti or rigatoni. The beans make like a nice silky sauce for noodles and sort of make it enough for 6 people. You can find this recipe and other recipes at New York Times Cooking. Okay, thank you. I'm like,